Alright, what's going on, guys? Marshall here. Obviously I am your host. Whatever. Either way, so what we were doing, this is kind of a home fix at a DIY. We have a leak in a copper line. Now the original line, this is the main line that comes in the house. They use 3/4 copper line, and they kind of fed it out to a PEX. They did a kind of a clamp together job. I'll give you an idea here in just a second. What it was doing was where the PEX met the copper line, they put a reducer and fed it inside the PEX line and then crimped it. Now granted, don't get me wrong, that does work and it is a fix, but over time the corrosion will build up and it'll cause leaks and stuff like that. So what it done is it slowly corroded and started to leak. Copper will leak, especially if you have salty, like we have a water softener system, so it really does tear your copper lines up pretty bad. So what we're doing is we're actually replacing, we're keeping the original copper line. It's coming out of the concrete slab. We just cut it below it. We cleaned it up really well. We're going to go ahead and add a whole new piece of pipe. Like I said, I cut it off at the top. There was a fitting up here, so I went ahead and cut that fitting off. I didn't want two fittings side by side. It's more of a chance to leak. So it's easier just to cut that fitting and go ahead and just extend your pipe by a little bit. This is a press fit for PEX and copper line for 3/4 inch. Really easy fix since we're not, brazing it or doing copper pipe to where you seal it up using solder. We're not doing it that way. We're just doing a press fit. You'll need to clean your copper pipe up very well. Use some emery cloth or some 320 or 220 paper and get all that corrosion off. And then, like I said, we'll use this press style fit, and I'll show you how to use the PEX clamps and all that good stuff. Stick around, guys. Alright, I'm going to give you guys an idea of what we're doing. Actually, so this copper line is one being replaced. Initially, this line was back here, and all I did was I cut it off there right below that reducer, and I cleaned the pipe up. And then, as you can see up here, there's a section of pipe missing from here, this pipe here. So this pipe to the pipe down there, we need to reconnect. Right, so like I said, reconnecting is real simple. We went ahead and got us a little extra length of PEX tubing. This is 3/4 PEX. And like I said, this is our old one. It's a good measurement to go off of how long it is. I've already cut that middle spacer, the other connector that was up here. I went ahead and cut it out. That way I raise the connector up and I don't have two of them in here. I'm only going to have one. So the first step you're going to do is go ahead and measure, cut your pipe, get it all cut out. Clean up your pipe like I showed just a moment ago with the emery cloth. We're going to go ahead and clean that real quick to give you an idea. Right, so cleaning your pipe is pretty self-explanatory. This is a piece of 220 emery cloth, or 320. I think it's 220. Just kind of take it around your pipe. Get all that green oxidation, that corrosion, that copper oxide. Clean it all off. Once you feel like you got it sufficient and it's nice and coppery colored again, nice and cleaned up, we'll go ahead and measure out for our next piece. Alright, so what we're doing is we're going to kind of take an average of our fitting down here, and I hope you guys can see this. This is our press over fitting for the copper line. We want to average about 1.5 inches press over. Really about half and half of your pipe. Half of the PEX in and half the copper pipe. So kind of give yourself an average area of about half to a third of the pipe. And then coming up to the top, you're going to want to measure and cut. So coming up to the top here, to our top line, you're going to want to measure and cut the distance of your pipe to slide fit over that and to also fit in to our PEX assembly up here. So we've already got these cut and they're ready to go. Right, so with these clamps you really only get one shot. So first thing you're going to do is we're putting a coupler, a 3/4 coupler, between the old pipe and the new pipe. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and slide one of these clamps on and go ahead and add your coupler. After that, bring your coupler all the way up to it, and you have to get a special PEX crimping tool. There's two different kinds. There's the band kind, and then there's this clasp kind. I just think this clasp kind is easier to use. They range about the same in price. So go ahead and get it on there and get it right below that neck. That way you're threaded on the nipples here. And all we're going to do is press. Alright guys, moving on to the next step of this process. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we've got the top pipe up here cleaned up. I don't know if you can see that, but if you can, that's great. So we're going to go ahead and get our clamp ready, go ahead and get our pipe fitted down on here. That way we can go ahead and get the water back onto the house. I've showed you how to, I didn't show you how to cut the pipe. I used, this is like a brass or copper saw. It's actually for fine woodworking, but it also does thin metals like brass, aluminum, and copper. It doesn't chew the blade up too bad, and it's a relatively thin cut, and that's what you want. And it worked great for that, so I'm very pleased. It gave me, for this tight area that I've got, it chewed right through that pipe perfectly, as well did the PEX too. So you'll need to get something, like a Sawzall is too jagged, you'll tear it up. We're going to go ahead and get the other piece press fitted on, and go ahead and crimp this line up here, that way we can get the water back on. Get a little corner view, that way I can still have room to get in here. We don't want to break the existing stuff. So all we did was we pumped that over. And press fit it down onto the pipe. And we're going to set this clamp where we want it, right above that fitting, right about there. Do an all-around check to make sure the size is good, and then we squeeze her together. Alright guys, that pretty well concludes this episode. Really all we've accomplished is we took a leaking water pipe. It was a copper line that connected to a PEX line. It was leaking in between that section. We went ahead and put a press fit on it, 3/4 to 3/4, and we replaced the section of PEX using the PEX crimp clamps. So I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any comments, please leave them below. If you have any questions, once again, leave them in the comments. I enjoy questions, positive or negative. If I did something wrong, if you think I could have done it differently, by all means, let me know. I'm interested in hearing what people have to say. Other than that, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you really like the video, check out some of my other videos. Maybe hit the subscribe button. I always appreciate new subscribers. It's a channel I'm trying to grow for people that want to do it themselves. Once again, thank you guys for joining me. Have a great day.